Hi guys. I was meant to be uploading weekly, wasn't I? But things didn't work out that way, unfortunately. But I will be, because I'm doing this, so that might kind of give me a bit of encouragement to keep going and keep uploading. But yeah, it's not as easy as it seems. So, and it's nothing to do with. Well, it is a bit to do with like life and things getting in the way, but I think it's more to do with having the motivation to sit and record and having the confidence to kind of put something out there. But yeah, I thought I can't not do anything around this because I think it's really important, and I think this is a really valuable tool, and I just wish that it was more readily available to people who can't access it for one reason or another, mainly financial. It's so expensive, and I'm very fortunate that I'm in a position where I can find a way to pay for it, although it's still quite painful parting with that amount of money, but I will find a way to kind of manage, and not a lot of people are in a position where they can even think about doing that. So yeah, I just thought it was really important to kind of share what happens and what the experience is like, and hopefully some people might find it useful. Although saying that, I've done so much reading and research and listening to other people's experiences, it's kind of hard to determine exactly how it's going to affect one specific person. I'm so sorry if you can hear that. We've got some absolutely insane children living next door. They're just constantly screaming. Anyway, so yeah, it's really hard to pinpoint exactly how it's going to affect you. However, if I can at least give some people a general idea of what to expect and how it affects your day-to-day functioning, then it's something at least, So I ended up starting these injections after, I'm not going into too much detail. I've told this story about 1 million times to one person or another now. But I've struggled with my weight for a very long time. And it's only in recent years that it's become it's put me in a position where I've felt like I'm losing the battle in a big way, and that's down to the fact that a lot of it is hormone related. So my hunger levels are very dependent on my hormones and where they are at any given time. And unfortunately, I'm 44 now, so it's not as predictable as it used to be. And the bad times where I'm extra hungry are very drawn out sometimes, which, creates this big window of time where I'm not able to limit the calorie intake that I'm having. And yeah, one thing and another. It's so it's got to a bit of a crisis point, I would say. Added to that, my blood pressure has been very, very, very high for a long time. I first found out about it in my 30s when I was in a really stressful job. So I eventually, after a few years, gave in and started medication. So recently I had a review for that medication, and they realised that actually this medication isn't really doing anything. So they wanted me to increase that medication and add a new one on top at a low dose. So I agreed. My blood pressure started coming down. However, it wasn't great. It was still higher than the doctor would have liked. So she asked me if I would agree to increase the new medication again, which I wasn't happy about because I'd started getting side effects from it, which was mainly in the form of water retention in my right ankle and my foot. And I thought, if I increase it anymore, I'm going to have to then take something like a water tablet to manage that. That then goes into the territory of, affecting your kidneys. My kidneys are probably already affected because of my weight. I'm not type 2 yet, but I'm not far off it. Just loads of little things. So all this culminated in me asking the doctor for help around my weight, and we talked about different ways of managing it, and I explained to her the issues that I was having with managing my appetite and the fact that it was very much related to my hormones. So we've gotten to the subject of GLP-1 medications, because GLP-1 is a hormone that manages your appetite. So I explained, if I could take this medication, if I could afford to pay for it, I would. So she said, well, don't do that. We'll refer you to, NHS weight management. And at some point during that process, there may be an opportunity for you to access these medications on the NHS. So I thought, great. Anyway, it went very badly. I won't go into why, but it wasn't for me. So I went back to the doctor, and she said, well, let's scrap that bit of it. We'll just refer you straight to what's called tier 3, which is where they offer things like injections and gastric bypass surgery, things like that. So I thought, okay, fair enough. And all of this has been very difficult for me because I've never actually asked for any help around managing my weight. I've just tried to kind of do what I can on my own and, just muddle through. It's not easy asking for help, but I did. And, I was absolutely ecstatic, so excited to start these injections. I knew that I wouldn't, just be slapped on them and, sent on my way. I knew that I'd have to do some work around my relationship with food and all those kinds of things. I was willing to do that, and I still am. And, I know I need to move more, and there's a lot of things that I need to change about my lifestyle, and, I will be doing. So I got my letter through from tier 3 weight management, and at the bottom of the letter, they said, just to let you know, we don't actually offer any of the medications currently on the market for weight loss, such as Wegovy and Saxenda. So I thought, great. So I did a bit of reading online, and I think it's down to the fact that there's just such a short supply of them. I don't know, it might be, more around financial reasons, but whatever. At this point, I didn't have the energy to argue or to kind of go into any battles about it. I rang the dietitian team, and they said, oh, we did tell all the GPs in the area, but they mustn't have, got the message, whatever. I thought, I'm not going to change their minds. It's not something that I can change overnight. So I'm going to have to do this myself. So I figured out some financials, and I'm going to be able to afford to do the injections myself for possibly 32 weeks, maybe more. I don't know. It depends. So anyway, so I just thought, sack it. I'm just going to do it myself. I just feel like this is the right thing for me. In fact, my GP actually said to me at one point, on paper, you are the perfect candidate for GLP-1 injections. Your condition, your weight issues are hormone related. This is a hormone that manages hunger levels, to put it very simply. You are a perfect candidate for it. So, with that in mind, I just thought, I need to do this. I have to give it a try. So today is officially day one of me having the injection. So yesterday was meant to be day one. However, I cocked it up. It went completely tits up, and I didn't hold the button in long enough for the medication to go into my arm. So basically, it's a long story, but I sought some advice today from the pharmacist, and they basically said, yeah, you didn't get any of the medication, so you need to do it again. So that's going to mess up my dosing schedule moving forward, but I don't think it's going to make that much difference, to be perfectly honest. Apparently, the first dose that you take, the 0.25, is purely just to gauge how you're going to respond to it. And it's a very, very low dose in comparison to what you can have at the full dose. So so they told me that I need to do it again today. So I've done that. That was a few hours ago. And I don't feel any different at the moment, but apparently it's normally the day after you first start taking it that you feel the side effects, if you're going to feel any at all. I'm trying to be positive about it, but I am really nervous about, I think I'm just really nervous about the nausea, because that's, I think when you feel sick and you just constantly feel sick and you don't actually throw up, that feeling of wanting to be sick, it's quite consuming, and it takes over everything. And I'm just thinking, oh God, how's that going to kind of impact day-to-day stuff? Because, the job that I do and everything is a lot of travelling, and I need to be kind of on and in the zone and in work mode, and that feeling of wanting to be sick and just feeling shit. I don't know, but I am trying to be positive and just trying not to let that put me off doing it. And yeah, I'm just gonna, if I do get anything like that, I'm just gonna have to persevere. I've got things like ginger cordial, and I've got smoothies in the freezer that are like ginger and passion fruit and mango and stuff. So, I've got little things that I can do to kind of manage it, and I'll just see how I go. So, yeah. Hi guys. So, it's 24 hours since I had my first injection. which was 0.25 milligram. So I didn't feel anything at first, like I said yesterday. This morning, didn't feel any different. Went for a driving lesson. During the driving lesson, I realised that I was having trouble speaking because my mouth was that dry. So that was weird. By the time I got home, I was absolutely exhausted. My driving lesson was 90 minutes and I was just completely wiped out. So my mouth was still dry at that point, really, really horrendous, and no amount of drinking got rid of it. So anyway, I needed to get myself together because I had to do a care home visit for work. So went and did the care home visit, still struggling with dry mouth, stopped to get petrol and grab some water. Started easing off a bit by the time I got to the care home. Did what I needed to do there. As I was leaving, a huge wave of nausea just hit me from nowhere. I just felt really, really sick. So I managed to find a shop that had sweets and things like that. I just thought I just need something to settle my stomach. So I just found a little bag of mints, had a couple of mints, and it seemed to settle down. Oh God, I'm wobbling. So yeah, it seemed to ease off a bit then. By the time I got home, felt absolutely fine again. Made something to eat, had a small meal for my tea, evening meal, dinner, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, I don't feel too bad at the moment. So that's good. So I'll see what tomorrow brings. But yeah, that's it. Stop wobbling. Hi. So I forgot to say yesterday that one thing I did notice is that I wasn't hungry at lunchtime at all. I didn't even think about eating. The only time it occurred to me that I'd not eaten any lunch was when I started feeling sick, like late afternoon, like 3, 4-ish. So that was weird because normally when it gets to about lunchtime, I'm absolutely starving. So I don't know. I mean, that might just been a random thing not related to the injection, but anyway, so it's day 3 today. So I had the injection on Monday. It's Wednesday now. I've not had any nausea, but I noticed it yesterday and I noticed it today. I've just got this horrific wave of tiredness that hits me. I think I mentioned it yesterday after my driving lesson, actually. Yeah, and I had it again today. I was in training for a few hours, so after lunchtime, I came back home, and yeah, again, I was just, as soon as I sat down, I just wanted to get in bed. I was just exhausted. But then I was all right afterwards, and generally, apart from that wave of tiredness that I get, I do feel like I've got more energy, and I don't know if that's because I'm eating less. I don't know. But I've noticed I don't want to kind of snack on things. So sometimes I'll get really hungry like mid-morning, or I'll just want a snack or something just to keep me going till lunchtime. But don't feel any of that either. But again, that might just be psychological. I don't know. I might be like overthinking it or something. But yeah, because yesterday I didn't feel hungry at lunchtime. I thought, could it be that I've overeaten at breakfast? Because normally I do have like a huge breakfast, because if I'm out and about on visits around lunchtime and I get hungry, sometimes I'll get really hungry and I'll be feeling like faint and, like I'm going to collapse or something. So I've kind of learned now to kind of have a bigger breakfast and then a smaller lunch. However, since I've started the injection, I'm obviously going to have to change everything about the way I eat, aren't I? So anyway, I thought based on yesterday having the big breakfast, I thought today I'll have a smaller breakfast and then I might feel like having some lunch, which actually worked. So I literally had half of what I would normally eat for breakfast. And then actually I did have a cereal bar during the training session that we were on, because it was getting like to lunchtime and I was out and about and I thought, I don't want to get to the point where I'm really hungry and I start feeling shaky and horrible. So yeah, I had a cereal bar, and then when I got home, I just had like a stir-fried rice dish thing. But I only had like a really small portion of it. I ate most of it, but I felt like I'd had enough to eat. So I don't know, maybe just being more conscious of what I'm eating is doing something in itself. I don't know, but I suppose it all kind of stems back to the same thing, doesn't it? But no nausea today, no nausea at all. Sometimes I felt a little bit shaky, like just before you start feeling really sickly, you'll get that weird fluttery feeling in your stomach. I've had that, but I've not had half as bad as what it was yesterday, so that's good. So yeah, not too bad overall. Still got the dry mouth, but not as bad again as yesterday. So I imagine that when I go up to the next dose, probably what I've been feeling for the past couple of days will be amplified a bit more, I imagine. And it'll just keep going like that until I get to the highest dose. I don't really know, because you read online about, people's experiences of it, and everyone's just so different. Everyone's experiences and the pattern of the symptoms and side effects they get is so widely different between each person that's kind of sharing stuff online. So it's really hard to kind of predict how you're going to respond to it. But, if I can kind of help somebody kind of get an idea of what the experience is like before going into it, then, I suppose that's a good thing, because it costs an absolute fortune. I'm just fortunate enough to be in a position where I can make things work for a while. It's not something I'm going to be able to sustain for a long time financially. But yeah, I've got things in place to kind of last me a good while yet. So yeah, so that's day 3 done. I'm going to get in bed now because I'm absolutely shattered. Bye. Hi. So what day am I on now? Day 4. Oh, Jesus. It's been a long day. So yeah, day 4. So I've not really felt that much different today. I felt a little bit shaky and a little bit queasy on and off, very slightly, throughout the day, but nothing that's kind of been overly distracting. I've been able to kind of put it to the back of my mind and just carry on with my day. The main thing that I've noticed though is I'm just not as impulsive about food choices. So I've been all over today, everywhere, appointments and meetings and stuff. And there's been like loads of times where I could have just grabbed a bar of chocolate or, whatever, and just not thought twice about it. But I've just been able to kind of think, actually, I'm not actually hungry. I don't know, it's just so weird. But again, it could just be that that's like a psychological thing because I know I'm on these injections. You know what I mean? I don't know. We'll see what it does long term. But at the moment, I don't know, it's just a very kind of underlying thing that seems to have changed. I can't really put my finger on it. It's weird. But yeah, just not really been that hungry. It's so strange. And like I say, I'm only on the 2.5 at the moment. So, I mean, no, not 2.5, 0.25, the starting dose. So yeah, who knows? I'm just gonna keep going and just see what happens. Yeah, and that's it. I'm gonna go now because I am absolutely exhausted. Bye. Hello. Oh shit. Hang on. My computer was about to die. So day 5 today. I've not really felt anything different, to be honest. I just feel like I need to eat less to feel full. And yeah, no nausea, no queasiness, nothing. Yeah, the last 2 mornings I've really struggled to get up. I've actually slept through my alarm. And apparently that is one common side effect that can happen, is that you're just really tired. So, yeah, I don't know if that's, because of the injections or what. I don't know. But it just seems really odd for me because normally I'm quite good at forcing myself out of bed, to be honest. So yeah, it's possibly to do with the injections. But yeah, like I say, I've not really felt anything major today. Just like I say, not needing to eat as much in each meal as I normally would. I've halved the size of my breakfast, and I've still been able to feel all right until lunchtime. No queasiness, no nausea. Yeah, and nothing else weird, So yeah, not a bad day today. I don't believe that. I've just literally spent God knows how long rambling on to myself, and I wasn't even bloody recording. So, side effects. So, yesterday was day 6. I didn't film anything yesterday because I was just too tired. I was absolutely ruined. So, but I did notice that I still had that thing where I just couldn't eat as much as I normally would. And I would say I overate in the evening, and I knew about it. I pushed it a bit too far. No, it wasn't actually. It was Friday night. Yeah, Friday night. I'd overdone it a little bit. I'd overdone it for me on the injection, if that makes sense. So I think I probably thought, no, I'm not feeling anything from it anymore. I'm just going to eat like I normally would have done, which is stupid, but I don't know. Anyway, so, but I still couldn't eat as much as I normally would have done. I just thought, I'm just not hungry. I'm just not feeling it. Anyway, I couple of hours after, I just felt so uncomfortable and bloated and like really full and bleh. So yeah, definitely. I definitely felt like I'd overdone it, and that was on the Friday. Yesterday, which was a Saturday, yeah, my appetite still wasn't the same as before the injection. I literally ate half of what I would normally eat for breakfast. We went out to eat, and I just thought, I just can't eat this. I mean, I enjoyed what I had, but yeah, I just wasn't as hungry. No other side effects, no nothing. The only thing that I would say that I've noticed yesterday, Saturday, and today, Sunday, is that I can feel my digestion slowing down. So one of the side effects, a very common side effect, can be constipation. And I have to say, 1 minute. Thought my microphone was off then. One of the side effects is constipation, and yeah, definitely. I've not had that yet, but I can see that happening for me if I don't do something to prevent it. So maybe take a Senna or something at night. Yeah, definitely felt that, especially today. I feel like my digestion is just slowed right down. Although the decrease in appetite hasn't been there as much today. It feels like the injection's wearing off almost, which kind of then brings me to the next bit that I needed to mention, which is that this should be day 7 on the first injection. However, I've started the next injection today purely because of the side effect, the timing of the side effects. So the first injection that I had, which was this week, it was 24 hours after I had the injection that I got the really nasty nausea, when I was out at that appointment. So normally on a Monday, work-wise for me, is an admin day. I try and keep it really chilled out. No appointments, no meetings, no nothing. If I can, obviously that's not always the case when you're dealing with, people that are relying on you for one thing and another. It's, it is what it is. But I try as much as possible to keep it as an admin day. So I'll be writing reports and notes and things like that. So I'm at home. I'm not answering to anybody in terms of time or, having to meet any deadlines or anything like that. I mean, the job I do itself is very chilled out. I don't have anyone breathing down my neck constantly. What are you doing now? Where are you? You know what I mean? It's just, I just answer to myself most of the time. And as long as I communicate with people and make sure they know where I am and when I'm available and when I'm not, then, we're pretty much left to it, which is really nice. So I try and keep Monday as a day where I'm at home. So with that in mind, I thought I really want to be able to have the injection on a Sunday so that if I am going to get that wave of nausea 24 hours after, I'm in a position where I'm not out on a visit or in a important meeting or anything like that. So I did the next injection today. So today now is week 2, day 1. Just to kind of confuse things a little bit there. But in terms of side effects, for the first week overall, I'd say day 2 was the worst day. That big wave of nausea that I had. I've had a little bit of shakiness, a little bit of slight sicky feelings on and off here and there. Very kind of subtle, nothing that's impacting my ability to function normally, nothing like that. I've not weighed myself yet. I'll do it in the morning first thing when I get up. I was weighing myself every day on the plan that I was doing, but I think I just feel like it's right to kind of do it weekly for this. I don't know why, but I do. Yeah. So, that might change further down the line. I might change my mind and want to do it daily, but I just feel like at the moment, weighing myself weekly is better. I suppose I'm thinking about side effects and how is it making me feel and what's it doing and can I eat this and should I eat that, and then on top of that weighing myself every day. I don't know, it just doesn't feel right somehow to kind of add to that almost overthinking everything. So yeah, so I'm keeping weighing myself weekly for now. Yeah, I think that's it really. Okay, bye.